This is the Possible Care for Dogs. The podcast begins.
Welcome to a new episode of the Pawsible Care for Dogs podcast.
Great to be diving in again.
In today's episode, we are exploring further Irish Water Spaniel Health, essential best practices for a happy and healthy life.
The Irish Water Spaniel. What a distinctive breed.
Absolutely. Our sources really paint a picture of them being, super loyal, very hardworking.
And clever, really smart dogs. Plus that amazing energy, that curly coat, and of course, their love of water.
Right, which all adds up to them having some pretty specific health and care needs we need to understand.
Definitely. They're not just any dog.
Exactly. So our mission today in this deep dive is really to pull out the most crucial best practices from the info we've gathered. We want to focus on what truly helps ensure a long, happy, and healthy life if you share your world with one of these amazing dogs.
Sounds like a plan. Where should we start?
Okay, maybe let's unpack some of the common health issues that popped up in the research. Seems logical.
Good idea. One thing that comes up, like with many sporting breeds, is hip dysplasia.
Right, that joint issue.
Yeah, it affects the hip joints. And what sources like the OFA Health Info really stress is the importance of screening, catching it early.
Because early detection helps with managing it long-term for mobility.
Exactly. It can make a huge difference to their comfort and activity levels as they get older.
Makes total sense. Catching things early always seems better. What else should owners be kind of watching out for?
Well, another one is hypothyroidism. The thyroid gland doesn't produce enough hormone.
And that shows up how?
It can be tricky. Maybe weight gain that you can't explain, or they seem sluggish, lethargic. Sometimes skin and coat problems, too.
Quite varied signs, then.
Yeah, which is why routine blood tests during vet checkups are so valuable. They can pick it up early.
Okay, good to know. Now, thinking about that love of water you mentioned, does that bring specific risks?
It sure does. Those fantastic long ears, plus all that swimming. It's like the perfect setup for ear infections.
Trap moisture.
Precisely. It becomes a breeding ground for bacteria or yeast. So consistent weekly ear cleaning isn't just a suggestion, it's really vital, a preventative must-do.
Weekly cleaning, got it, non-negotiable. What about their eyes? Did our sources mention anything there?
Yes, a couple things. Entropion, where the eyelid rolls inwards.
Ouch, so the lashes rub on the eye.
Yeah, exactly. Causes irritation. And then dystachiosis, which is where extra eyelashes grow in weird spots and can also irritate the eye.
Both sound uncomfortable. Potentially damaging.
They can be. And interestingly, a study we looked at, published in Veterinary Ophthalmology, really emphasized screening for these in water-loving breeds like the Irish Water Spaniel.
Why specifically water breeds?
Well, this study hinted there might be a link between certain head shapes common in these breeds and, a higher chance of these eyelid issues occurring.
Fascinating. How breed traits link to specific risks. Okay, let's switch gears to fuel. Nutrition. What are the key takeaways for feeding these guys?
Right, fueling that energy is crucial. The general guideline seems to be around, say, 2.5 to 3.5 cups of a really good quality premium dog food per day.
And split into 2 meals.
Yeah, usually best to split it into 2 meals. Of course, that exact amount varies, based on age, how active they are, metabolism.
Sure, individual needs. What about the type of food? Anything specific to look for?
Definitely. Given their energy and muscle, a diet that's high in good quality protein is really beneficial.
To support lean muscle for all that running and swimming.
Exactly. It helps maintain that muscle mass they need.
Okay, high protein. What else nutritionally stood out?
Thinking about joints and that amazing coat, omega-3 fatty acids are mentioned quite a bit.
For joint protection, like helping with the hip dysplasia risk.
Potentially, yeah. They help support joint health, and they're also great for maintaining a healthy, glossy coat.
So looking for foods with omega-3s or maybe supplements.
Could be worth considering, definitely. And another really big point is maintaining a lean body weight.
Yes, I saw that. Why is that so critical?
Well, any extra weight puts a lot more strain on their joints, especially those hips. It can make existing issues worse or increase the risk.
And it helps reduce inflammation generally, too.
Right. And there was that Purina lifespan study we looked at. It showed pretty clearly that dogs kept lean tend to live significantly longer with fewer health problems as they age.
Wow, that's powerful. A real motivator to keep them trim. Okay, so they've got the right fuel. Now, how do we burn that energy? Exercise recommendations.
Oh, yeah. They need a good amount. They are definitely high-energy dogs. The sources suggest aiming for about 60 to 90 minutes of activity every day.
So walks, running,
Walks, running, and ideally swimming, given how much they love it.
they really do have that water instinct, don't they?
Yeah.
How can we best lean into that?
Embrace it.
Mhm.
Activities like dock diving or just retrieving games in the water, even things like canine field trials involving water work.
Stuff they're naturally good at.
Exactly. It's fantastic physical and mental stimulation that really plays to their strengths. They just seem to light up when water's involved.
Sounds like fun for everyone. But it's not just physical, right? Mental exercise came up too.
Absolutely critical for such smart dogs. You need to challenge their minds, too.
What kind of things?
Things like scent detection games, puzzle toys where they have to figure out how to get a treat, even more advanced obedience training. It keeps their brains busy, prevents boredom.
And boredom can lead to trouble with clever dogs.
Sometimes, yeah. The Spruce Pets was mentioned as a good source for ideas on that front.
Great. A busy mind is a happy mind. Okay, that coat. The signature curly coat, grooming essentials.
It's gorgeous, but it needs work. Regular brushing, probably 2 or 3 times a week.
What kind of brush?
A slicker brush or a good metal comb works well. The main thing is getting down to the skin to prevent mats from forming.
Because mats get tight and uncomfortable.
They can pull on the skin, cause irritation, so regular brushing is key.
And baths. How often?
Generally, maybe every 6 to 8 weeks is enough unless they get particularly muddy.
And use a gentle shampoo.
Yes, definitely. Something mild for dogs so you don't strip the natural oils and mess up that lovely coat texture.
Makes sense. And we mentioned ears already, but it's worth hitting again, right?
Absolutely. Weekly ear cleaning is just fundamental for this breed, especially if they swim. And always, always dry those ears thoroughly after any water time.
Crucial step. Any other trimming needed besides the main coat?
Yeah, regular trims around the face, the base of the tail, and their feet are usually recommended.
Why those areas?
Helps keep things tidy, prevents matting in those spots, and it also helps maintain that distinctive rat tail look, which is part of the breed standard.
Ah, the famous rat tail. Okay, moving to proactive health. Preventive vet care.
Super important. Regular annual checkups are a must.
And during those checkups,
Given what we've discussed, the vet should pay specific attention to their joints, check thyroid function, and do a thorough eye exam, being aware of those breed predispositions.
so being proactive with the vet, what else falls under prevention?
Keeping up with vaccinations and parasite prevention, that's essential for any dog, but maybe especially for these guys if they're swimming in natural water or live rurally. Higher exposure risk.
Right, lakes, ponds, ticks, fleas,
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Exactly. And then specific health screenings are often recommended too.
Like what?
Especially if you're thinking of breeding, regular orthopedic checks, hips, elbows, and eye exams for things like entropion and distichiasis. It's about responsible breeding, ensuring the health of future pups.
Good point. Responsible breeding benefits everyone. Now, stepping back a bit, any sort of special tips or insights specific to Irish Water Spaniels that came through in the sources? Beyond the basics.
Oh, definitely. The sources consistently mention just how intelligent they are, and they have this almost clownish, playful side.
Sense of humor.
Seems like it. But underneath that fun, they're incredibly loyal, and they really, really thrive when they feel like they have a purpose, a job to do.
If they don't have one.
They might just invent one. Their intelligence means they need that mental and physical outlet. Otherwise, boredom can set in and maybe lead to behaviors you didn't quite intend.
I can picture that. So how do you best channel that intelligence in training? Give them that purpose.
Consistency is key. Patience, too. And making the purpose clear. Positive reinforcement methods work wonders with them.
So rewarding the good stuff.
Exactly. Clear direction, consistent expectations, and lots of praise, treats, whatever motivates them. They respond really well to that.
Good to know. And back to the water one last time. Any specific gear tips?
Yeah, just practical stuff. Invest in a good quality dog-specific ear cleaner, and always have soft, super absorbent towels handy for drying those ears right after they come out of the water. Minimizes that infection risk.
Simple but effective. Great tips.
And hey, while we're chatting, this is probably a good moment for you listening to maybe like and subscribe to the channel if you're finding this useful.
Good reminder. Okay, so wrapping up this deep dive, what's the main takeaway message for caring for an Irish Water Spaniel based on everything we've covered?
I think the big picture is if you provide that consistent grooming they need, stay on top of proactive vet care, keeping those breed specifics in mind, and give them plenty of the right kind of exercise and mental challenges.
The kind that uses their brains and energy.
Exactly. If you do that, they are just fantastic, energetic, super rewarding companions for many, many years.
They really do sound like an incredible breed for the right person or family who's ready for their unique needs. And hey, we'd absolutely love to hear from you. Please share your comments, your thoughts, questions, suggestions, especially your own experiences caring for your Irish Water Spaniel.
Yeah, those firsthand insights are gold. They can really help other listeners who might be thinking about getting one or are new owners.
Absolutely. Well, have a beautiful day. Take care of your lovely doggies, and we'll see you on the next one.
And just one final thought to leave you with. Considering their high intelligence and that real need for a job, what engaging, maybe slightly unconventional activities beyond just the usual walks could you explore with your Irish Water Spaniel to truly tap into their amazing potential and deepen that bond you share? Something to think about.